Shalom, all praises go to the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash, double honor, son to the elder apostles, a great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Alchemy across the world. Now, this is a video that, some brother asked me a question: is every black person in U.S. an Israelite? And then I said, no, Zechariah chapter 14 and 21, and then I'm going to read that, sorry. And then I also give the explanation that says in the end times, the Heavenly Father shall take out the Canaanite in the midst of us. This shows that some of the so-called black people are Hamites in the midst of us, because he said in the U.S., well, all over the world, right? But I'm going to focus on that, right? And of course, we know that there are tares in the midst of us. Black females laid down with demonites, because if I put down Edomite, they they will take my comment down in 17 seconds or something like that. Right, let me just read on. I'm going to show you that they're going to take it out. Demonite, Edomite, well, it's the same thing. Now it says here, of course, black females that lay down with a demonite and make children with them. Those children are tares and will be exterminated, according to Matthew chapter 13, verse 36 until 43. It says so, right? So I'm gonna read that, but and in the meantime, I'm gonna refresh this, and that you see the Edomite has been taken away, and there's only 3 comments now. Just to be sure again, Edomite, pub. So now you have 4 comments. Well, it's supposed to say 4, but it doesn't. It's still 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 15 seconds now. About 17 seconds, then it will go. You see, poof, gone, and it's gone. Meanwhile, if I do here, doofus, let me see if that clicks. 4, 2, doesn't even make no damn sense. 2, how can it be 2? Okay, 3. It's just funny playing around with these comments and stuff like that. It stays. This one stays. This one stays too. It's longer than 17 seconds. Back in the days, they used to keep it for maybe 40 seconds. Now, after 17 seconds, 16, sometimes 14 seconds, they take it off. You see, this one is going to stay. But then, I think I could leave it. Yeah, if it's above 40 seconds, then it's gone. It's gonna stay. Sorry, right? Delete it, and this one delete also, and then 1. Whatever, man. There's 2 comments, but anyway, let me just go on. Right now, it says here in Zechariah chapter 14, verse 21. Now it says here, yea, because that is what I pulled over there. Yeah, here, Zechariah 14 and 21. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judea shall be holiness unto Yahawah, the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them. Right, and that also is mentioned in the book of Isaiah chapter 2. So I'm gonna get that. It's funny to play around with the comment board, because they're playing undercover brother. They're playing around and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. Right. So, where was I again? Well, Isaiah chapter 2, first. I'll start at 1. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, which is government, and shall be exalted above the hills, which are other nations and governments, and all nations shall flow unto it. Yeah, so this is what it's talking about. All the nations shall flow unto us, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe therein. Basically, all of our people is going to be holy, because I'm going to go into that, which is the every pot. And even all these other nations will come and serve us, because it says it right here. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, which is the house of Israel, to the house of the God of Jacob, right? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and none other else. He's the God of the whole universe, but he's the power of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, right? And they're gonna learn our ways, and we will walk in his path. Just like how everybody nowadays is in America, you have a lot of our people celebrating this nonsense, and you have a lot of people, they celebrating Columbus Day, day of mass murder. You know what I'm saying? And they also celebrating, even in China, they celebrating this, man. They celebrating this in China. They celebrating this in Japan. So everybody is the whole world is subscribing. Look here, this is in Japan. I mean, they decorated just like it's in America. They even go more overboard with it, because in America they do shit like sorry, in Japan they do shit like this. They don't do shit like this in America, not that I'm aware of. They definitely are not doing it in Europe. Well, let me say in Holland that I know of. Okay, I'm gonna speak on that then. I haven't seen this ever in my life. I don't even think they do this in America like this, man. So the thing is, everybody upon the planet Earth is walking in the ways of Esau. But guess what? They will walk in the way of Jacob. Because if they don't, Zechariah was right there, sorry. Zechariah 14 and 17. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families on the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. So guess what? Famine will come upon you. And starvation is a good way to persuade people. Believe me, it hurts. Famine, it hurts. It will make you do things. People go buck wild crazy if they don't get some food. Because if there's no rain, that means your crops can't grow. And if your crops can't grow, that means you're going to suffer of hunger. And if you're hungry, you're going to want to do anything to get yourself some food. And that's what they're going to do. So guess what? They're going to serve us. And we will walk in his way paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So they're going to come to us, right, and follow our ways. Just like how everybody is now following, just like everybody now is following Christmas, and they're following Esau, actually. Maybe because he comes with that Christmas nonsense. It's not a Japanese culture thing to celebrate that. But guess what? They're walking in his ways. So read it again. And all they that sacrifice, shall come and take of them and seethe therein. They're going to basically, because seethe is soak, basically kind of soak, boil or be turbulent, as if boiling of a person, be filled with intense but unexpressed anger. Yeah, that is when I'm seething in rage. Yeah, that is when you put it in that sentence. But the word goes actually into and keep boiling. And what do you do with boiling? You boil it in a seethed chicken. Yeah, misspelled it right. Seething chicken. Then basically you're boiling it. It's soaking in the water. That's what I mean, right? So they're going to be up in it, in our ways, in our path. And in that day shall there be no more the Canaanite in the house of Yahawah, the Lord of hosts. So that shows you that we have Canaanites amongst us, man. And we also have Tears amongst us, which will be exterminated. And the Canaanites will be taken out, rooted out, kicked out, killed, put to death. Because if your father is a Canaanite going back 400 years ago, guess what? Your ass going into slavery, right? But the Tears, they're going to be exterminated. Now, the show you what this word means. When it says here, yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto Yahawah, the Lord of hosts. Now, what does that mean? If you go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 14, verse 21, and then you check out this word pot, which is Hebrew 55:18, and you check it out here, Hebrew 5:18, which is an sayar. Yeah, sayar. Now it says here pot, household utensil, pot of temple, thorn, hook, briars. and then I looked up the word briars. It is this: thorns and briars, right? Briars is this, and we already know which is a plant, and we already know what thorns are, which are these, which is another plant. And therefore, thorns, hooks, which is what these things are, like a hook, which is this thing, a hook. Right, now check this out. Now, if I go down a little bit to the Jacenius lexicon, help, 2, plural, thorns, briars. So called for the idea of boiling or bubbling up. Basically, bubble up, yeah, coming up. A notion which is applied to the redundant and luxuriant growth of plants, especially in woods. Okay, so it says luxuriant and redundant growth. Luxuriant, luxuriant, I don't even know.
Luxuriant.
Rich and profuse in growth. Luxuriant is like luxury, right? Rich, luxury, right? That one. And the other one is redundant. Redundant. Oh, okay. Not or no longer needed or superfluous. Flowers, right? Surging up. Here it is, surging up, which is bubbling up, basically. Bubbling up, boiling. The idea of bubbling up. So basically, it is surging up, right? Popping up. Okay, so right, going on. So now it says here, yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto Yahawah, the Lord of hosts. So if we now go to Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. For the vineyard of the Lord, of vineyard is of course plants, and it's grapes. This is a vineyard, right? For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. So the house of Israel is a vineyard. It's a beautiful stack of wine to the Heavenly Father, which is something that is very great because Sirach chapter 31. Hey, shit. 31. This one. No, this one. Sirach chapter 31, verse 31. Oh, no, it's right here. Wow. Okay. I was looking at 31, but no, this is good. Wine is as good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. That's why there's wine, to make men glad. So it's a beautiful thing to have wine, but if it be drunken in moderation, meaning not too much. Because if you drink too much, you kind of start arguing. It's possible that you could start arguing, and it's also not good for you. Too much of anything. Too much vitamins D, for example, will give you lower back pain. Actually, if you take too much vitamin D, you will get also lower back pain. But if you take it good enough, it will help your bones and stuff. It will help you. But you will, here it says deficiency. I know because I took, one time I took, too much of this. You see, because it is actually for your back pain. But if you take too much, it will give you back pain. It doesn't make no sense. Actually, it does. You gave it too much, so now it's overworking. Let me see. I took this one time. Finding a balance. This one is actually not good to be taken too much. You're supposed to be taking it like on 5,000. That's the highest you should go. Well, for me. And I'm not taking it anymore. But this was a long time ago. But hey, I learned off of it, and now I can tell you. Right, let me see. Yeah, check this out. Too much vitamin D can lead to negative side effects, of course, with everything. But enough of this. Now, you can read the book of Sirach 31 yourself. It's a very beautiful chapter. I'm going back to over Isaiah chapter 5, verse 7. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment. Basically, that was it. That was the point. We are seen as a plant. So when it says here that, where is it here? When it says here, yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto Yahawah, the Lord of hosts, it goes into that we are plants, basically. Because a plant is something that a pot of plant. Which is something that a plant needs a pot, for example, right? It needs something to be in. And, well, it actually doesn't. It needs earth, actually. But if you want to have it in your house, then you're going to need a pot. So, basically, the Israelites are going to be beautified. We're going to be made holy. And then also, and in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. Because amongst them you have Canaanites. Example is Matthew 13 and I think I'll start at 18. No, wait. This is a whole thing, but let me just try and read it fast. Now, Matthew 13 and 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. A sower is somebody that sows seed and thus a plant. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understand, wait, let me see. Yeah, kind of. It also goes into the seed. I don't think I have to read that. I want to get to the point. This one. This one is good too, by the way. 18 until 23, but I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this one. You can read it for yourself. Now, 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man, which showed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemies came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. To get the understanding, you need the picture again. Tares and wheat. Now, if you compare them to each other, tares and the wheat, they actually look identical. Now, these are the wheat. It looks like this, but the tares, they look like this. They look alike. They kind of look alike at first glance. For example, here. When the tares are so-called ripe, they also give this so-called golden brown. It's not golden brown. It's a kind of golden yellow, color. This thing. But this one gets also the golden color, just like this is better, right? You have this one, and then when this one turns the same color as this, it still looks the same, as you can see it right here, right? Let me get this one. I saw something here, right here, right? This is the weed. Maybe another picture. This is the weed, and this is the tare. They kind of look alike if you glance at them. Right. But a professional will know. And those professionals are the angels. Some of us, we can see if you're a tare or not, because we're going to look at your spirit and be like, this is a tare. Or the way you walk. Tares have a funny way of walking. They just walk different. You'd be like, that's not a Jake. He doesn't flow like water or something. Right now, going back to over here. Now it says, right, verse 26, but when the blade was sprung up, from the tares in the wheat, and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also, right? And those were it's going to explain what the tares are. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then had it tares? He said unto them, An enemy had done this. The servants said unto him, Will thou then that we go and gather them up to kill them? And he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the weed with them. And, you shouldn't be doing that. Let both grow together until the harvest. And the harvest are the angels. He's going to explain down here. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, which are the angels. Sorry, the harvest, the reapers are the angels, and they come in the time of harvest to gather everything up. It's going to explain right there. Now it says, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the weed into my barn. So, now you come here to 36. It's going to explain. Then Yahawah sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. That's that parable that I just gave here, or that I just read here. Right? He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. I'll show you. Wait, let me give you a good example. Right, I found it. Now check this out. Now this is the example. He's that good seed. Right? And he sowed his good seed in his these two guys, their mother. And then they came because the mother is Edomite, by the way. And like that guy is Blake Griffin. His family. Right, this is an Edomite, which is his wife, as you can see here. This guy, his wife is an Edomite. And his mother is an Edomite. This is his mother. So he took the hair color of his mother, which is orange. Brownish orange. Right. And this is the father. So this father had the good seed, put the good seed in her, and then brought forth this. Right? So now he went and had another Edomite. Right? And then he's still the good seed. And then his good seed of his father's bloodline, gene line, goes into her and then bring forth this child, which would then look like a tare. But I think I saw him here. Right here, you kind of could look at him, but not really. If you didn't know, he might be looking like a like a devil. That's what he looks like, but he's not. He just looks that way. Now, which is a deceiver, an Edomite. He looks like an Edomite. Right, and which are the liars of the planet Earth, the deceivers of the planet Earth, and that's what they are. Plus, they're evil people, right? Just check their track record. Just go back a couple of 100 years and see how they treat people and do to people. Who brought racism? Who brought hatred? Who brought skin color diversities concerning racism towards skin color and stuff like that? Who names people nigger, goose, pig, all that type of thing? Who did that? So they're the people of hate, right? But then now it says here. Now it says wait. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, right? The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Now what is a tare? These are tares. Now in slavery they used to rape the black female, right? But nowadays they willingly give it to them. So, but these are tare babies. These are tare babies. Now you might have a possibility that this guy is a this is definitely not an Israelite. I just look at them, man. Sometimes you just look at them. You just look at them and be like, that's a devil. It doesn't matter how dark your wife is, my man. You still an Edomite, and you still gonna pay. And that little tear baby, well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen to that little tear baby, because the angels is gonna take care of you. It's funny. Now, like I said, Now you might have, let's say this guy, this little guy, he grows up and he gets himself another blonde haired, blue-eyed female, right? And then they make children. And then that son will even look more Caucasian, right? But then if he go gets himself a so-called dark-skinned female and then makes a child, you would think that that child is a Edomite, but that's far from the truth. They might look like an Edomite, but they are actually an Israelite. So that's what's up. By the way, this is a Ter and an Edomite. This is an Edomite and two Ter babies. It's funny as hell. Now they're living very comfortable. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, which I just showed you. This is the good seed. This is the good seed. Now, if he comes to the truth, that's another thing. I'm not relying on that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just giving an example and using him. Because if he's against this truth, he's going to be put to death. Just like the rest of the Israelites that look like this. It doesn't matter. You got, yeah, Israelites that look like this, Israelites that look like this. It doesn't matter. If you are not of the truth, Israelites that look like this, this, and this. This is the best picture I should actually take. Anyway, if these three don't come to this truth, all three of them will be put to death. You know, the Heavenly Father will smoke you. Right. But the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. And guess what? Among our people, you have Canaanites, meaning a Canaanite man has laid down with an Israelite female, made children, and then, you know, since they're dark skinned, you wouldn't necessarily notice it. But their spirit is just different. And those are the ones that the Heavenly Father will, and in that day and in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. The Canaanites will be taken out of the midst of us. So no more Canaanite tear babies. But the tear babies is talking about, you know, these Edomites. And while men slept, when we was in slavery, we slept. We don't even know who we are right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why you would sleep. That's why they say this guy's asleep. He doesn't even notice what's going on. That's why they have that saying, like, hey, he's asleep, man. He doesn't even know what the hell is going on. While he's dead awake, you know he's awake, but you still have this saying that goes like, this guy's asleep. You know, basically he's not paying attention. And in slavery, we was asleep, right? The enemy that sold them is the devil. So this is another scripture that shows you that these Edomites are the devil. He's deceiving. Just the evil being also. The harvest is the end of the world, because in the end times everything will be set in order. And we are almost at the end of the world right now. Let me get it here. I wanted to type it there, but 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Let me get it somewhere else. Here. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So that's what's up. We are in that end time right now. Right. We are in that end time right now. Right. So the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. In that time, we are in that end right now. The beginning of the end for them. And the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered together and burned in the fire. Whoops. Doesn't look good for them, according to the Bible. Where did I put the other one? I clicked it away, I think. Yeah. Sociologist says it's time for black women to date what? Yeah. Go ahead and do it. Be pushed. It's going to be fun to see the end result. Right. You got these little terror babies walking around upon the planet Earth. And let's say it was a boy or something. Yeah, this boy, I don't know. Okay. Right, let's say this. You can see it in their face that they're tears. I don't know. I can't explain it, but they just look different. They have a different look. I don't know how to explain it. But going on. If this boy over here was to get himself an actual Israelite daughter and make children with them, those children are still tears. You can never change your bloodline of your father. It doesn't exist because only the man has sperm. This little boy grew in him first as a sperm because when he was 10 years old, he didn't have sperm. And then when he was about 12 years old, 13 years old, he started to develop and create sperm within his body. And then he put that sperm, obviously when he got older, he put that sperm in her womb, her empty eggshell womb. And then it grew into these three little children. These children are actually three pure. Oh, four. I didn't even see this, doofus. These four children are actually pure Edomites put into a West African. She looks West African, but it's a Jake. Put into this belly over here, and then they came out looking kind of brown and stuff like that. But they are 100% Edomite. So that's what's up. Now, going back to over here. As therefore the tears are gathered together, they're going to bust some tears too at the same time. Put a tattoo tear under your left cheek, which is where you belong, and not on the right. Speaking of left and right, let me get that for the ending of this video. 25, I think. Right. As therefore the tears are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. Right? We come in at the end of this world, by the way. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom, Yahawah, his kingdom, all things that offend. What is an offense? A tear. What is an offend, by the way? Offend. Cause to feel upset, annoyed, resentful. Commit an illegal act. It is illegal for them to actually procreate, these two. If it's the other way around, they are still the seed of the kingdom. If this was a so-called black man, if this was an Israelite, a Jake man, a Latino, negros Latinos or Indiano, so-called Negro or so-called black or native, right? If that was that case, and this was an Edomite female or a Chinese female, or whatever race upon the planet Earth outside of our own nation, then these children would be the seed of the good seed. But seeing that they're actually this way, that would make them the seed of the wicked, the devil, the seed of the devil. Right. Right. Offend, upset, displease, do wrong, sin. It is a sin, right? And them which do iniquity, and our people, let's see, here, no. Yeah, the Wesley Snipes picture. Right, if our people are doing crimes like this, being crime bosses and stuff like that, guess what? You're doing iniquity. You're also doing sin. So it goes for you too. And them which do iniquity, right? And shall cast them into a furnace of fire. That's what's going to happen to the tears, and it's going to happen to wicked Israelites that are 100% Israelites. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who had ears to hear, let him hear. Matthew 25 and 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another. So all the nations will be separated. Okay? No more holding hands. No, everybody will go back to their own nation. As a shepherd divided his sheep from the goats. That's how the Heavenly Father, his Son, Yahawah, will come and separate all nations from each other, forming or viewed as a unit apart or by itself, unconnected, different, split up, caused to move or be apart, split up, break up, divide, sunder, asunder, isolate one from another, segregate. They're talking about segregation, right? Of races. Well, Yahawah will come and do that. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, which are the lost sheep of the house of Israel, but the goats, which are all the other nations, on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the earth. Right. And then you jump over here to 41. What is going to happen to the ones on the left hand? Right? Now it says here, Then shall he say unto them on his left hand, Depart from me, you ye cursed. And who are the cursed among the people of his curse? The people of my curse. Which is Isaiah. Isaiah 34 and 5. Let me just see if I can get everything right. Right. Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse, to judgment. Now, who are the Idumeans? As Idumeans or Idumeans, their territory is called Idumea, Greek. Edom. Oh, this is Dutch. Idumea, Greek Idumea, an ancient. It says here, the kingdom of the Edomites. Let me try and get a better. It says Edom, but. Idumean. Right, so, okay, Idumean. An ancient region of the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba, bordering ancient Palestine. The kingdom of the Edomites located in this region. I'm trying to show you that the Idumeans are Edomites, but I'm trying to make them say it. Right, look at here, Strong's. Here, Edom, Idumea, Edom, a district in Arabia. Word origin of Hebrew word origin of Hebrew origin, Edom. Definition, Idumea. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, Isaiah 34 and 5. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse, the judgment. Right. So, ye cursed. Matthew 15 and 41. Then shall he say also unto them on his left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Angel means messenger. Devil means deceiver. Who are the messengers of Esau? For example, I'll give you an example. an economic hitman. These Edomites are messengers of death. They're messengers of Esau because they belong to Esau. But he also uses other nations. For example, the Arabian coup. There was a coup. Wait. Venezuela. Oh yeah, you spell it like that. Venezuela coup attempt. What are they doing? They're hiring people of Venezuela. Funny as hell. Didn't even know that 2 days ago. How the audacious showing a willingness to take surprisingly bold risk. You're audacious, you know. The Odyssey or something like that. And, audacity. Yeah, audacity. Right. And it backfired. I'm going to put this link in the description box. I have not read it myself. But my point is this. You have people of that own nation that are trying to bring down their own nation. Just like you had with the Arab Spring. It was a bunch of Arabs that didn't like the government. So they helped America to take down that government. And it's the same thing with Venezuela, but it backfired on them. Funny as hell. Led to two Americans being caught. Right? You have people that are of Venezuela living in America, but then they are loyal to the American Edomites. They are loyal to them. And then they use them, not this one, I'm just speaking of an example. Then they use them to go in the midst of their own people and then sell them out, just like Jason in the book of 2nd Maccabees chapter 5, or was it 1st Maccabees chapter 5? I think it was 2nd Maccabees chapter 5. He thought he was doing good by selling out his whole nation. He was doing bad, but he didn't know that yet. Eventually they're gonna find out. Just like how this JFK quote. He said that. He said, "I have willingly, my fellow American, I have said, I have willingly sold out my own nation." And then after that, they blew his top off. Literally, his head collapsed. His head got blown open. I can't find it right now. Maybe I didn't quote it as good as he said it, but he said, I have unwillingly sold out my nation." Or my people or something. Okay, I can't find it. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So with that, I'm going to say, yeah. But the point is that the tares shall be gathered up together and burned, and there shall be no more the Canaanite in the midst of us. Where is that? Yeah, the Canaanite shall not be in the midst of us no more. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.